and I welcome you all for this session of Let Us Talk. This is actually our first session. As we said, we have done several sessions like this, but especially when we are talking on something special topic on this latest lead platform, then this is our first session in this latest talk. So thank you, Akbar sir, for joining us here on this platform, and we thank you for actually taking out your time for this and sharing your experience among all. And definitely, it will be great honor of all of us to hear your story and how you started from, I guess, Kolkata, right? You're from Kolkata, and then you did your college from Chennai, SRM, and then your journey to Bahrain. So it will be all great to hear all your personal story and then your professional one, of course. And we will learn a lot of things from this. So starting with this, let's start. If you can just brief a little bit about yourself to the students here.
Thank you, Rakesh, for that great calling of this meeting. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you, everyone, all the students across India, and especially my fiance is also here listening to me. Thank you so much, for joining us. Yes, like currently I'm working in Bahrain as a sales account manager, and also I am one of the marketers. You can call it, working since last 3 years. And coming from my engineering background, I have done my BTech in computer science in SRM University, passed out in 2017. And basically, I am from my generation is from UP, but we were born and brought up in Kolkata, and did my schooling there. And then after that, moved back, going back to the south to my engineering, and then coming back to Bahrain for my job role as in currently working as a sales account manager for Bahrain, like for the Kano, one of the foremost business groups in GCC around. So okay, Rakesh. So we'll start with your questions. Let's go back to the very basic. I will start from the journey I started in my own company when I was 19 years old, when I was in second year of my university, and then how we started from a project idea to form a company when I was in the second year of my university. So I will just give you a very short strips stories I have, and then coming back to the role I play here in my own profession as a sales and marketing, and any other field, either like I speak technology because I come from the technology background. Doesn't mean though I work as a sales, but I'm not the one who do the coding, but I'm the one who sell the softwares. But the coding is my background, so I understand the code, I understand the language, I understand how things is been made to use for daily purposes. I think even one of my cousins is also here, Abdullah Khan. He's also joining from Bahrain. Hi, Abdullah. Thank you for joining us. All right. So starting from the college stuff, yeah. So when I enrolled in 2013 in SRM University, in second year, I was doing a project called Mekura. If you heard about, it's everywhere in LinkedIn or in many of the press conference we did those days in 2017 and 2016. Micro was an idea of it was a project actually, because obviously everyone is here is a student or graduate. Everyone has gone through the project, making a project for their universities or for their subject or for their year. So similar things, I had the same thing. There were 12 member. We started a project called Mekura, which we were trying to help, which we were trying to build a platform for students in schools where, for example, in India, mostly like the parents are not aware of how their child is growing in terms of their healthcare, right? Because especially when you're in hostels, because I was a hosteler for the last more than like 6 to 7, 8 years, and my parents were never they didn't knew about how I am growing health wise. they knew about my results. Okay, they know what my grades are, but they never knew about my how I am performing accordingly to my health. So when I went to the college, I had this idea, let's build a platform where the parents can keep the track of their child healthcare. So I called my friends. Obviously, it's we were all in the same class. I called them. I said, "Let's. Oh, hey guys, I have an idea. Why don't we build a platform for the schools and the child and the parents where they can, communicate with each other?" So everyone think, okay, let's do a project. So it was a project actually, but this project, when we started working on it, when we started building the platform on PHP as a backend, the SQL on the database, front end was the HTML and CSS, all mix of, as a college graduate students, actually we learn. So we built the platform and we went to the one of the professor to show this platform, and he was very amazed. He said, "Oh guys, you have done some tremendous job. Instead of doing this project, why don't you guys take up as a startup?" So we never knew about what startup is, what entrepreneurship is, what it does, what is business plan, because we all were the coders. We were all doing the coding in the classroom and in schools. So this idea struck by the professor. He said, instead of doing the project, go ahead for the startup. So we all started reading, looking from the YouTube's, Udemy, whatever you call it, name it. We started digging and started learning about this entrepreneurship journey. So, and from there we said, okay, let's give a try. And we were still in the second year of university. So we started building this not as a project, but we started building as a startup, as a company. So we did some pilot service in many schools. Pilot service in the sense like you go and do the test and trial run, right? Whenever you build something, you're gonna do the test and trial. So we did this test and trial in many schools, and we were very very successful. So how we were doing it, like we had a college for around 8 to 5, and then after coming from there, we were sitting in the lab. We were working all together whole night. Some people were working on the code, some people were working on the business plan, some people were working on the marketings and sales stuffs. So we had all the different teams working day and night to build this platform from the scratch. We never asked money. Whatever the saving we had, we did with our own saving, wherever we were going to different place, and pitching to the investors, pitching to the different conferences. So we all went with our own expense. There is no money involved with any of the investors or money involved from the parent side, because we were all students. So generally, we started running this startup as a company. We formed this company as a micro healthcare service private limited in 2016, after 1 year of day and night hard work, running here and there, and forming, pitching to the investor, pitching to the business owner, getting the evaluations of your startup. It's very important, because when you're building something, you need to have someone to evaluate your platform. Otherwise you never know which direction you are heading to. You never know where you are going to. So so rejection, we got rejected. Obviously we got rejected by many investors, we got rejected by many business owners, we got rejected by many schools, because they thought oh, these students are just kids. They are only in second year and they are coming up with a business plan and the platform, so it's not worth to invest. But few people they knew, they thought, okay, they have visions, they have a team, they have a, this passion or energy, you can call it. So they can do something great in life. So for those few people, evaluations, we steps ahead. We partner with more than 15 schools in Kolkata. We partner with more than 5 schools in Delhi, New Delhi, and we started running this company as a full-fledged uh, from 2016 to 2017. 1 year we run as a full-fledged team. We had around 14 to 15 members working as a full-time in the office. We had an office and everything. As we call it, startup as a company, we had everything. So, and the best thing was when we won this startup of the year in IIT Bombay in 2016, when we pitched in front of 100 people. And I was the one who was heading the business team. I was the one who was heading the sales team. I was the one who was heading the marketing team. So for me, it was something very different, like because I was a developer. I love coding. I was doing my projects, but I never had this kind of public speaking skills. I never had this in me where I can go and speak to people randomly. Hey, hello, my name is Akbar Khan, and I have this startup. I never had this. Come on, I am not. I don't come from the BBA or any of those business activities features, you can say. So I was the pure tech guys in school days. So I was very shy, and I never had this kind of skill to speak in front of people, to speak in front of anyone actually. So I was very nervous when I was called upon IIT Bombay to speak in front of 100 people. So I was very nervous, but I did my homework. I while going back from while going from Chennai to Mumbai in train, around it took around 27 hours. In 27 hours, I did a lot of preparation, practicing in front of the passenger who was sitting next to me. Actually, he doesn't know what I'm speaking, but yeah, he was just listening. Okay, so that's what the preparations. So when you practice and practice, so things automatically it comes. It doesn't have, it doesn't reflect on you, but when the people in front of you, they see, when they hear, they generally evaluate your preparations. So IIT Bombay was one of my major big platform was there for me to pitching in front of 100 people in that auditorium, full pack. The investors were there, and I was called on the on I was on number four on the stage. So before stepping to the stage, I said to myself, "This is my day. This is my stage. So I'm gonna rock it today, no matter what happened." So I went to the stage. I stand there. I spoke out loud, and guess what? So my startups was one of the best. We were one of the four best startups in India among whoever's come there in IT Bombay. So that was the biggest achievements for me. Is it was there like wow, like we were on the fourth number in all over India. Whoever came to that startups meet. So from there, I knew that what my passion is, where I am more strong, or where I can do more great things in life. So what I did, my passion. Then I see something in me, like where you were more good. Either I should I go full on to do the coding, or should I go to do this sales and marketing and everything. Okay, I will come back to your Kuldeep of your questions. Definitely, I'm gonna take few questions as well. So what I did, like this passions and this compassions came all along while having your journey ahead with your startups, or with your, what do you call, when you know more about, when you knew like what you're gonna do in the future. So for me, it was my own startup which taught me that okay, I am more good in sales and marketing. I'm more good in business. I'm more good in public speaking. So why should I make my professions here rather than sitting and doing the coding? Though I love though, but that's had more. I have more passion and compassion there. So what happened? So the Mekra, obviously we didn't succeed in the long term uh, because of the many reasons. The one of the reasons was the investment reasons. We couldn't succeed because of the investment we couldn't raise in front of the investors. Uh, it's not about the idea. We didn't have the great idea. We had the great people to work with. Sometimes when you go out there without an experience, so because you cannot be the Mark Zuckerberg, no one be the same like Mark. No one can be the same like Larry Page. They started in the garage and they started their own and they built it. So sometimes you have a hard time. So the hard time for us was to get those investors on platform to build the big engineering team, to build the big platform. So that was the one of the things we couldn't raise at the end of 2017, and we hibernate our Mekura for a few years. uh, we didn't close it. We hibernate for to build our own capabilities, because sometimes it's good to stop somewhere and move ahead with a different plan, instead of going into the depressions, why my shop didn't work, or why I didn't I, why investors are not believing in my ideas or my dreams on my platform. So you don't have to think about it, because you have to there everyone has their own time, everyone has his own uh, way of thinking. So sometimes you need a break, you need to stop somewhere just to evaluate more, or to rework on your idea more. Because I have seen this, we went through this journey a lot. We worked around 3 years with this startup, and we couldn't raise. It's not because we don't it's not because our idea is not great, it's not because our peoples who are working with us, they are not capable. Mm, it's not that. It's sometimes the person in front of you, or whoever it is, they don't see it in, or they want to tune you in a different shape. So this is what will happen. So we got some evaluations that we need to tune, we need to rework, we need to go back to the basic and start something which its demands in the market, because many things which we build, it's not demanded, because we think it's demand, but it's not there. So we hibernate this Mekura for a few years, and we are working on this new technology called, like everyone know, for example, AI, machine learning, algorithm. So because these are the technology which we are trying to work, and this is the technology which is going to last in many years, because nowadays not there people are not working on the legacy system, right? Nowadays, for example, Python is there replacing all those Javas, all those C++. The Python is replacing. Machine learning is replacing many systems. Artificial intelligence replacing many systems. So it's not that you have to stay at certain place. You have to keep upgrading to the next level. You have to think like, okay, what I'm going to do after 10 years, what I'm going to do after 5 years. So you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan, so that you shouldn't wait for anyone to come to you and said, oh, you are doing something where like everyone is doing. So we hibernate our startup to rework again, so that we can generate the demand which is actually having in the market. We'll Its experience matters, like people say that given experience matters, it does. Actually, when we say experience matter, it does 100%, 200%, it does. Because like when I was in IT Bombay, so many of the investors came to me and said, your idea is great, but you need this add features to be added. But these features I'm not aware. These features my developers are not aware, because we were still the students, right? We were in the second year, third year of university, and you all know in second year, third year university, they don't teach Pythons in university. They don't teach artificial AI in schools, in universities. What they teach, we all know all the basic like C, C++, Java, or algorithms they teach, but practically we don't know. So how do we know the practically? When we step deep down to the industries, when we start working in NMC or in the big firms like Amazon or Google's, when we step down there, then we actually know the platform, we actually leverage those technologies. For example, I will give you, since we all guys are very much familiar with the Flipkart, right? So do you the Flipkart, the founder was Sachin Bansal. So do you know the Sachin Bansal actually worked in Amazon for the last 5 to 6 years before he started the Flipkart? So he worked for 5 to 6 years as a product manager in Amazon. Then he came with the same concept, with the same idea, with the same platform, with a different name. That's called Flipkart. And now the Flipkart is a billionaire, right? It's a billion company, which owned by the Walmart now. So what he does, he doesn't does anything. What he did, he just built a platform which is required, which was in need in those times. So experience is the key word in all the industries. Is either it's a marketing, or it's a technology, or it's a law, or anywhere you go, experience is the key word for everyone. So that is there. So we have a net, and we thought, okay, we will come back with more of its technology, with more of a uh, trends, things around happening around the world. So we are doing R&D for that. That's one of the beautiful journey we had. And it doesn't give us the failure status, it gives us the attitude of moving ahead with more knowledge, with more learning experience. So today, like, I'm working in Bahrain as a sales account manager, and also as a marketer for uh, one of the very big groups here in GCC countries. So I know, like, I'm just 25, and at the age of 25, reaching to someone of a very group as a manager is one of the very key role. So I don't give credit to myself because, oh, I'm working for it, because the experience who taught, which I got it from my working on my startups. So in the when in the second year of my university, we started working on the business development plan. We started working on the sales and marketing. So those ideas helped me to gain here a knowledge, and it helps me to prove that, okay, I am capable more than what I am expecting from myself. So this is one of the major role which I am playing here. And the startups actually help me to find, right, okay, what I need more and what I need to know more in the later stage. For example, like, uh, the public speaking is one of my core strengths now. uh, and just imagine 3 years down the lane, the public speaking skills was not even touching around here and there around me, because I was actually very bad there. So, like, but working on my startups, working with the teams, working on with my uh, like, people around, whoever I'm working with. So that taught me that, like, okay, actually, you can be different. You can be someone who you are not forced to be. For example, our parents forced to do something, do this, do that. Yeah, our neighbors, our community, everyone is on us, right? They always our parents mostly are like, they get inspired by the other neighbors, like, okay, like, their child is doing this, why don't you do that? My child is doing that, why don't you do that? So see, these passions and compassions you listen to everywhere. People are here to give you all those shit knowledge that, okay, do this, you'll do that. If you do this, you will become that. I don't believe in those words, because I know that it's you who gonna change yourself. No, no one's philosophies can change you. No one's written words can change you. No one's books can change you. Okay, it's all good to read, but it it's just, if you just keep reading those and not applying those things, that it's not going to help you ever. Never. I have read many books. I have read many books. I used to complete around 10 to 12 books in a half quarterly basis. But it just, okay, it's good to learn, but when it's you who gonna decide, like, where you gonna head it, what you gonna do, what you are up to in your life. For example, I will just tell you one story. When I was when I came to Bahrain, I was looking for a job in sales and marketing, because I really wanted to work on those area, because I thought I can do more better here. But no one give me a job here in Bahrain in sales and marketing. So people generally said, "Oh, you are just a fresh guy. You just passed out in 2017. How can we give you a job without experience in sales and marketing or business development?" So I was very depressed, because when you're talking to someone in front, and when I am giving an interview one by one, so my knowledge is far better, or far, or I mean, like, it's more than is required for any kind of professions. When you call it to a sales or marketing, so no one understand that key, you what kind of label you have. People just see, oh, you don't have experience, khalas, no needed. So I was very depressed. I thought, okay, I thought I am in different meetings, so in different world, so maybe it's gonna work out, but it's never get worked out. So what I did, like, okay, I had the engineering background, so I got a job in as a system network engineer. For a year, I work as a backend office. So, for example, like, uh, running the code in SQL, developing a platform in PHP, uh, then, like, taking care of the server, doing the troubleshootings, for example, network support. I was doing there, supporting Cisco, name it. So I am mix of both the technology and the sales. So now, so I'm working as an account manager in one of the top tier company. So for me, it's very easy to convince a customer. For example, when I'm meeting to any of the director of IT, so what happens generally? So if you're meeting it to an IT manager, or you're meeting to a director of IT, so they speak technology, right? So so for me, it's very easy because I understand technology. I come from those backgrounds. So for me to convey the message, for me to make them understand what their requirement is very, very easy. So that conversion is more easy. So again, I have one more question for you. What makes a marketing strategy? See, so when you're talking about the marketing aspect, see, marketing is all about content management. Once, because when people said, okay, marketing, people have this understanding of marketing as in ads, or putting the flyer, distributing flyer, putting ads on TV, uh, running the ads on the YouTube. So it's marketing is not about those stuff. Marketing is all about content. The content is very, very vital. For example, if you see anywhere the big firms like Google or Microsoft, Amazon, Adobe, if you see their content is amazing. Even the one liner they put it in their flyers, it reached to millions and billions of people. Because that's the one of the strategy we need to develop when you are having a marketing role. Focus on the content, then you focus content connects. So you have CC, content and connect, and then connectivity to different channels. So how do you make the plans? So the plans is very easy. And so you maybe, like, many of these people know this SWOT analysis, like uh, SWAT. So that is one of the people generally in everywhere. It's a very myth, or it's very old strategy where people follow, like threat, opportunity, this. But it's all old analysis, but still you can follow that. But the best way to make any marketing strategy is to start with your content. Look, and now since everyone is on phones, so for example, everyone is investing on Instagram, everyone is investing on YouTube, everyone is investing on WhatsApps, and because the WhatsApp is one of the marketing channel, now the TikTok is there, and one of the great platform to invest. So now, so there are very few things which people, they get diverted when it comes to the marketing. The best way, as I told you, is the content, and the best ways to learn about the algorithm of each platform. For example, LinkedIn, where you need to be more, where you, when you want to reach to the professionals, when you reach to the company, the LinkedIn is the best platform to invest your marketing strategy. How are you going to do that? For example, when you're working in India, so you know that the timing routing of the people, like in India, people work from 9 to 5 or 10 to 4, or 8 to 4. So you need to have the best timing when you're gonna post your marketing flyers in those platforms. For example, you cannot just post it at 9 p.m. in the night and you just post and boost it. So in India, people usually sleep after 9, or maybe they eat dinner, so they don't bother to even to open their LinkedIn at 9 p.m. to see what's happening, right? So when they're in the office, they used to open the LinkedIn or whatever the social platform. For example, Instagram. Instagram people, for me, like any professionals, Instagram people open when they get off to home, or they when they get over by their offices. So you need to know this kind of strategy of their online platform. So in the Instagram, you post around 7 p.m. We call it like the best timing to post in Instagram is 7 p.m. because around from 6 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. the people are very active there on Instagram. These are the timing. For example, Facebook, the similar. TikTok, you have to know the algorithm and the strategy of the timing people are like. So I hope that I answer that question. So I think I have one more questions from Adarsh. So what could you suggest me as I'm pursuing mechanical engineering and I didn't want to work in engineering field? I want to work in business related field. How could I get into that? As everyone wants experience. All right, I got you, mate. So first you have to complete your studies. I mean, like you continue with your mechanical what engineering, and see, it's a myth that you need something to show on the paper, even though you don't like it, even though you don't want it. But it's a stepping stones for you. For example, when you're going for any interview or anything, so you have a stepping stone that's called a door. You have to cross that door to go inside to meet someone, right? So your that door your is your graduation. Yeah, that door is your completing your any degree level, so that you can step inside. I know many company like Google, they don't want your degree. Tesla, they don't want your degree. But it's all myth, because everyone's not going to Google every day, right? You need to go somewhere, work before you reach to the Google. So, or else you are, if you are very much super talented, or you have cracked all those code and you have cracked all those exams which Google takes, then it's exceptional. But stepping, you have to step down. You have to step down. You have to be there at the stepping stone of the door to go inside. So my suggestion will be you pursue your degree, you pursue your graduation, and also keep reading or keep doing whatever you like. For example, you want to work in a business related field, so why not, like you do your masters, you do your mechanical engineering. Then there are so many courses available, like for example Udacity. If you go to the Udacity, is called nano degree program. They give, it's like 2 to 6 month program. You do it online sitting at home. They give you the degree. It's called nano degree program, and they have multiples of choices. Same like you go to the Udemy, RedX, edX. There are many channels available to give you those business related field knowledge. So you can pursue that, you can take up to that, so that you shouldn't struggle after your graduation to go into the any level of mechanical engineer. They do wonders in business activity. I know many people who people from the mechanical engineering. They are head of sales, they are head of marketing, they are head of departments, because they started with their initial days with executive level. Now they are somewhere in there around the world. So this is going to help you in long way. So don't quit, don't just keep working on it, and you'll do great. Others great. So yeah, moving along with the profession I have. Can okay, Kuldeep
Yeah, there is
Mena.
one more question.
Yeah, can you tell us also, like, how do I determine whether I am capable of starting this or any startup? Okay, so before starting anything, you have to believe what you are gonna make. For example, when I started Mekura, I didn't. It was not just a one nightmare dream, right? It was, we put lots of efforts into the paper. There were so many efforts on the paper before we went to any of the professors or anywhere. So that's called the R&D, research and development. If you're not doing any kind of research, then it doesn't make any sense. For example, let's say we did some healthcare startup like child healthcare. So we know our competitor were the Practo, which is India's one of the most I mean, like the big shots. The Practo was there. There are many startups over there. So we did our competitor research work. We did our R&D work. We started pitching to people, like, if these ideas, how do you like it? For example, you can pitch at your home, you can pitch at your grandmom if you have grandfather, or your mom, your father. So you need to know if your idea is strong or not. You have to put your thoughts into paper. Otherwise, the ideas remain the ideas. So now so when you know that your idea is strong, that give you the strength to go to the next step. That give you the energy, that give you that compassion. Yeah, I'm getting good feedback. I believe that this can be the next multi-billion-dollar company. So it gives you with it should come from within. It shouldn't come from the fancy words, like, which everywhere is there around the social media. You do this, you'll do that, and you'll have investor. So it should be from within. It should come from within. And when it comes from within, then you are capable of doing anything in this world. Even if you say that if you want to climb to a Mount Everest and it's coming from within, definitely people do reach there, right? Many people have gone to the Mount Everest. It's not that they are not capable. They all are human. If, like, for example, if me and you try, maybe I cannot go there because I think I cannot go there. That's not my. It's from my within that key. Oh yeah, it's too tall. It's not a cup of tea for me. But for some people, they do there. So you just put your thoughts into paper, uh, do the research work rigorously, and then you see the results. So I hope I answered that question fully. Rakesh, you have any things to say?
Yeah, definitely. So I was actually waiting that it was such an amazing story from the beginning to the journey till Bahrain. So I was just waiting, okay, when will I get chance to ask something?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, thanks for
Hmm.
actually sharing it very beautifully. And I can see the effect that you have actually mentioned, the public speaking, the way you were some time back, maybe 2 3 years 4 years back, and now the actual difference anyone can see it very clearly. And the same thing I want to just mention one thing, like when students are in the college, whether they should try entrepreneurship or first they should go for job, or like what is the actual benefit and the advantage they will get over studying and looking for job. Because you already mentioned, right, somewhere that definitely you get the experience, and I get that because even I am into entrepreneurship because I was not able to understand, okay, which direction I go in. So I just started out helping students. As you mentioned, you also started Makura as a project, right? So similarly, I started Tech Table by helping out some students to get internship, and that's where I started, and then it has again another road finally. So you never know actually which direction you will head, and you will get the clarity as per you go further, right? So many people also think that okay, they should have a very clear idea and then only they will get started. So, how is it like where they should actually get started, and especially for a student, what would you suggest either to go for job or like try out this, and what is the actual differences they will see?
Thank you, Rakesh, for that great question. Definitely, the way I see you in everywhere in any platform, so you're doing an amazing job. For me, the best it's not the best advice, but I could say, uh, when you have a startup, when you want to start something in the college itself, go ahead, try it. There is, because you have nothing to lose, because at the one day, at one end, you are going to graduate. At the other end, you're gonna start your something, you are working. So these two things should be run on a parallel side: your studies, your graduations, and your idea on the startups. So it shouldn't affect any of these. For example, let's say when I was working on my startups, I was doing great because my CGPA was more than 85 point plus 8, sorry, 8.88 plus, and the daytime I was working on my startups. So because I knew I have to get graduated, and I knew I love my startups. So it should be, these two things should be on the parallel side. It shouldn't merge with each other, because what happened eventually, let's say your startup doesn't work. Let's say at 1% you couldn't raise, you couldn't get the best team to work on with you in the after 1 year. So what will happen? Obviously you'll go back to your basic, you'll go back to your own job, you'll go back. But it's not that you failed, it's just because your time was not there. Because I don't say people fail, because I don't say that you fail at something. No, because as a student, there is nothing to lose. You have to put that in your mind. When you are in a college, you have nothing to lose, but you have many things to gain. You will gain a lot and a lot and a lot. So don't think that okay, should I go for a job? Because uh, when I gave two interviews, I was placed in Infosys, I was placed in Baidu, if you know this, in these two names. So I was placed in while from the university itself, but I didn't opt it. I didn't went for it because I was still working with my startup. But it's not that, but it doesn't stop me to give the interview, because when you give the interview, it also give you the your own evaluation where you stand, because the people who are interviewing you, they are more than 10 years of experience, maybe they are more than 5 years of experience, right? So you never know. So that is also one of the good experience you need to have in your life. But if your startups click, so you will do wonder. So my best advice will be, shouldn't you should run on the two parallel line. One is your studies. You shouldn't give any less time to it, and also your startup, which you have to work on it day and night. Make sure that it happens. If that doesn't happen, so you don't have to worry. It's that okay, that was your learning curve, that will help you in many ways when you are doing your job experience. For example, like me, uh, I I started in 2017 from SRM, and I was placed in Infosys and Baidu. Then I quit those job, and I came to Bahrain, and I got a job. And in span of 2 years, I got a position of account manager in one of the top tier in GCC countries. And so you know what, the startups I worked on, that helped me a lot, because I was I am very confident. I know how to speak to people, because my startups help me to go to different place and speak to different people. My startup helped me to have the confidence in me. My startup helped me that oh wow, I can just go anywhere and say, hey, hi, hello, my name is Akbar Khan. So there are lots of things which can startups can help you actually a lot and a lot. So that's one of the things I want to say. You shouldn't make your things on a two parallel set. That's all. Either your startup doesn't work, you have experience. So from my side, you have nothing to lose. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was really beautifully explained, Akbar sir. Thank you for sharing that point. And one more thing which I have, like, how did you decide at that point of time that you really want to go ahead with your startup and not with the job? Because definitely in the beginning you will not have a lot of revenue generation from your startup, and at the same time you also have to manage your family, because in India most of us belong to middle class family where managing our family is on top of our shoulder. So at that point of time, how do you take decision in that very critical situation, that either you have to go with your startup or you go with some job and then run it parallelly? So how do you take the decision?
Yeah. So when I was working on my startup, so when I got placed in Infosys and Biojuice, I didn't went for it because I was still working on my startup. So my parents asked me, like, what do you want to do? I said no, I want to work with my startup, because that time I was making a good revenue of my startup. In span of 1 year, we make around more than 25 lakhs. So with my own startup, so we were making the brains like what's called brainstorming. We were making the revenue out of nowhere. Uh, we had schools tie-ups, we had, so when the family see that something is coming out of it, so they will hold you back. Okay, I think you can do better, because even I come from the middle class family. uh, so I know these situations very well, like when you have a uh, let's say commitment to your family, when your parents are expecting something, when you are pass out from the college, so that time your decisions are like, oh, should I go with, I have to support my parents, but I need money to support from my parents, for that I need a job to support my parents, and here is my startup which is going to take more than 5 years to generate the revenue. So what am I going to do? So many people in these situations, they quit, they leave their startups because of their family commitment. Because of the family, they quit. They said, no, my families are more important. Obviously, the families should be your priority. That's nowhere, because your families come first than anything else. But here the situations where people started diverting their minds and started losing the hopes to work with their startup. So so but in our case, in my case, it doesn't happen that way, because I had a job, I had a revenue generated company. Makura was generating company. The only thing is that we couldn't raise to go to the next level, because, like, see, you have level one, you form a company. To form a company, you need money, right? You need a company, you need an office, because my, like, you have to register as a private limited or LLC, or sorry, LLP, or like as a I don't know what you call it, formed or something like that. So you need money for that. Then you need an office. Then you need to hire people. Then you need equipment to have in your office. So for these things, for us, it was easy because we were making revenue. But to reach to the second stage, that is like to grow the company, to have bigger office, to have more number of people in your engineering team, you need more experienced people to lead you, because we were the students. We don't know. We did our job, right? We did our level one job. But now to reach to level two, we need some experienced people on board. Now to have the experienced people on board, you need to have money. You need to that's why the investment is more important on level one, not on level, on sorry, on level two, not on level one. So on that stage, we hibernate. We said, okay, we couldn't raise, but we are not going to shut down this startup. We're going to hibernate this startup for a few years. Once we come up with the investment, once we come up with the more stronger engineering background, so we will restart the game. Instead of closing down, you can always come bounce back, and trust me, once you bounce back for anything, it is much better than what you expected once you have a net. So that's the Rakesh. I think I answered that straight.
Yeah, thanks for explaining it very beautifully, I would say. And I have one more thing. Uh, so, like, entrepreneurship is actually for your overall development. Like you said, you were actually a tech guy completely, and the transition from a tech guy to sales and marketing person, you became a good public, you became good at public speaking. So how that transition happened? So if you can tell the steps behind it, how did it happen? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, Rakesh. So, like I told you before, like I was a pure developer. I was a pure into the developing the platform, because I have created my own platform of Makura. So, but when I was started working on my startups, and then when I started meeting with people, when I started going around the different places, then actually it came that key, why not I opt for this profession, which I am more resilient, which I am more confident, and which I am more able to do that things in a more easiest way. So I was very amazed. I said, like, wow, this is something I never knew it. Like it never happened to me before, right? But which, and these startups give me this spark, or in me, to go ahead with these professions. So when I went to my parents, I said, Dad, I want to build my professions in business development and in sales, not on coding. So my dad was like, "What? What are you saying? Are you insane? Are you some friends give you something to eat or drink?" I said, "No, no, no, no. I'm just telling you for my own sake because I really love this profession." He said, "How do you know that?" I said, "It's come from within." I said, "When I talk to someone, I feel nice." Right? When I give my presentation anywhere, I feel wow. I love people seeing around me. Now it's COVID-19, but still people are here on the platforms listening, and like I'm giving a speech. So this is something like amazing. Like wow, I can do this in a better way. But I didn't leave my profession. I didn't leave my the like studies, or I didn't leave my the doing the programming or coding. I didn't leave that. It was still there along. Still, it is still today. I do blogging. I do develop. I do the website development for my own sake. I don't do it for people, but I do it for myself. I keep learning new things about technology. For example, if you ask about anything Python and Java or C++, or even for the infrastructure, like someone asked me about infrastructure, for example, the server, network, anything you ask me, I'm sure that I will be able to 95% I will be able to answer that, because I love technology. And there are two people in this world who do that: the people who develop the technology and the people who sell the technology. For example, Steve Jobs was never a developer, right? He was a salesman, he was a business man. The someone else was doing the coding, not the Steve Jobs. Look at the Apple now. So you need to know where you are good at it. Either you are a developer, do it in a great way. Either you are a programmer or developer or infrastructure or network engineer or mechanical engineer or business, do it with a do it in a best way, that so that you shouldn't stand in the crowd. My only one mantra in life is that I shouldn't be stand in the crowd. I should always be the out of the box. How gonna do that? For example, I am super active on LinkedIn because I know the LinkedIn will gonna help me a lot. I am super active on the social platform. I write blogs, I write content, I write about the technology. For example, recently I got my AWS certification done. Just imagine, AWS solution architect. I am now the solution architect. So, but because I love doing those different tasks, because you never know where it's gonna lead you in life. So many people are very lazy. Many students are doesn't want to experiment those stuff. But see, this is the time you need to do lots of experiment in life. Otherwise, you'll be at job doing 8 to 5 jobs, coming back home tired, nothing to do. So you will not learn anything. But when you are a student, you have so many things to learn. And if you just push yourself hard, super hard, now you see the result in after 5 years. You'll be somewhere in out of the box. But for that to be the out of the box, you need to put yourself into the box, into the hardship. In hardship, you don't have to load something. Put yourself, give your efforts in your own profession. If you want to be the developer, be the best developer, that so that you can crack Amazon's interview. Be the developer so that you can crack Google interviews. There are so many sites available where you do the coding competition, where you rank yourself. Go and try. Don't be like, oh, I am the software developer, oh, I am the computer engineer, so I know the coding. If you know the coding, go to the do the hacker rat. They do that. Don't go and do the competitions. Evaluate yourself. Then you'll see that after doing those things, you'll see that you will gonna be placed somewhere in big company, because no one is different. No one is same like you. You have to be different from others. So I think I answer that, Rakesh, in very in detailed way.
Yeah, thanks a lot again for explaining. I'll always appreciate your explanation. I'll always appreciate the way you explain things, and it is clearly visible. The changes are clearly seen, and that is what even I would say from my journey when I started Tech Table from like 2 years ago. I was just kind of, I would say, business guy who was just into business development in the beginning. I am not a techie person. I have, I don't have a background from IT. I don't have a background from coding. So it was very tough for me in the beginning because I'm starting something which is related to IT, or which is related to providing internship to students, which is mostly into software development nowadays. And so it was really difficult for me to actually deal with even clients in the beginning. But that gave me exposure to actually deal with clients. The more and more clients I met, the more and more experience I got into each and every field. So I understood design, I understood content, I understood sales and marketing, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have this good quality of being a salesperson, like you told, like sales. Steve Jobs is a salesperson, right? You have to sell your service, you have to sell your product, and that is the beauty
True.
of having this of going through this entrepreneurship journey. Like, you have nothing to lose but infinitely many things to learn, right?
Indeed. That's well said. You have infinite many things to learn. So it should be, people should start something in the college, maybe a small project, maybe a small start, make a form, make a team of two, make a team of four, and start something. Make, don't think it is gonna, you're gonna make something big. Start something so that you can create an impact, not to
Impact.
others, for yourself. So you need to create the impact for yourself, not for the others. When you start thinking about yourself first, then you will see the change. If you're thinking about others, you will not see the change.
Wow, thank you for mentioning this. And the same thing, like I started with Tech Table, helping out students with technical related skills, as they were not getting opportunities. Like you said, in Bahrain, when you went there, people were saying, "You don't have experience. Why do I give you job?" So same thing here. Even at the time of internship, companies are actually looking for your experience. What do you actually have? So that's where I thought, yeah, this is the problem I need to solve. Like, how students will get experience in the beginning, so otherwise they will get into a trap and they will never come out of that. So I started helping out students by providing them some sort of experience, by letting them work on project. So that's where it started. And now then, one more thing which I realized, okay, this tech hard skills are fine, these tech skills are fine, but what about soft skills? What about public speaking? What about their being confident? What about their presentation skills? So that's where I realized, okay, this is another gap I find with the students. And that is where we are here on this platform called Let Us Lead. And every day we can actually see the impact, and we can see that students being getting confident about themselves and being happy in life. So this is the impact which I see, and I really feel happy every day. So again,
True,
I'm very
and
happy.
the soft skills, true Rakesh. Soft skills is one of the very key role to play in your life, because no matter how much knowledge you have, no matter how much expertise you have, but you don't have those skills to speak. Because when you go for the interview, right? So you don't, they don't see the resume and okay and judge you. They see you speaking. They love, they want to see you hearing how you speak, what your body language, what is your. So there are so many things to learn when you are working for yourself. Your public speaking, your soft skill, your communication skills, your attitude, your discipline, everything matters, like, because what happened, you have a certain skill, let's say you know only Java, and your company your and you're going for the interview, and when you give a great presentation, when you give your great interview, the company said, okay, I don't mind if you know a little bit of Java, because I know when you are inside the company you're gonna learn it. Because wherever you go, you, after a few months, you can learn those job, you know how to do those job. But this public speaking skills you have to learn from your own. No one, these skills, no one's gonna taught you. People can teach you how to program, people can teach you how to run a system, but people cannot teach you how to speak.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's well said. And that is where, like, I realized even in my college, I had Toastmaster Club, but very few people actually used to join that. So I thought, yeah, why not to have a platform where actually people are free to share their feelings first. Like, if I share something, about my life, if I share something about my journey, and I feel relaxed that yeah, I'm able to share my story. I'm a storyteller, because that's how your journey start, as a storyteller, and then you become a good presenter. So the moment you start sharing your story and what you have, even a good, you can actually beat the good content with your good presentation. So
True,
content,
true.
the valuation of content becomes less uh, uh, in terms of your presentation, right?
I'm completely agree with you, Rakesh, and I'm completely agree with you. I think, do you have any more questions? We're running out of time. We
Yeah,
have reached
sure,
our
sure,
timing
sure.
now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so I think uh, I am done actually. You have shared your entire journey, and we are really glad to hear that. And a lot of things were there to learn from your journey. Thanks a lot for actually taking your time and sharing the story with all of us. Thanks a lot,
Thank you, Rakesh.
sir.
Thank you so much for hosting me. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for Around the India. This is Akbar Khan, and you have my email ID. You can also connect me on LinkedIn, wherever you are. I'm just sharing you my LinkedIn profile so that it's for you to find, for you guys. It will be more easy to find me, and I will be more than happy to help you anytime and anywhere. Thank you so much for joining, and I think I should say good night or good evening. So
Good
see
evening.
you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, see you guys.
I will
Uh,
share your LinkedIn profile to all the students.
yeah, thank you so much,
Oh, you have
and
already
I
shared.
wish
Okay,
you
thanks.
everyone a very safe and be at home. I know it's a very pandemic season in India. Stay at home. Uh, it's a very privilege to be you guys to be at home and learn online stuff. So don't be worried that okay, your call is something like learn online stuff and don't go outside. Stay at home. Stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you so much and good night.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. Bye bye. Take care.
See the reaction.